Hello everyone, it's Duststorm from Podtacular, and I'm here doing our last video analysis for the E3 videos that we got from 343 Industries during the week of E3. And this one is for the campaign demo that we saw as the opening for the Xbox media briefing. And our first scene right here, this is right after the live action bit that we saw, and you can tell by the sounds and the scale of the ship that this thing is gigantic. I like the sense of scale they put in there. It really makes you feel like the Infinity is really, really big. And this is going to be pretty awesome. So I think everyone's jaws dropped when they saw this big orb. Now a lot of people think it might be the Didact, but we're not exactly sure because the symbol at the end of the video is not necessarily Didact. An interesting thing right here is Cortana says that they know where he's going. That makes us believe that they've possibly encountered this before, or they've seen some evidence to support that they know what this object is, or maybe who's controlling it. So we'll have to see what happens throughout the rest of the campaign for this. This is actually in the middle of the campaign, from what we were told. One of the new features of the Halo campaign is we're going to actually see people show up on our HUDs. So we'll actually get visual representations whenever someone is radioing to us if video is available. Now one part I want you guys to watch right here is if you can look at the little helmet details in the corners of the video, you can tell that they change shading based on the shadows or the sunlight that's coming through. And you can look at the flora here, and the engine for the graphics in this game looks amazing. I thought they nailed it with Reach, but this is 10 times better in my opinion. So a huge graphical update, and I think this is going to make the campaign even that much more immersive.
Scouts, hold up. They spotted us.
Now looking at this elite run up against us, we can see there's a little bit more smoother motion. If you see how he ran over that rock, there's a lot more fluid motion for the enemy's AI now. So it looks like 343i really put some detail and effort into making the AI a little bit more realistic.
All ground forces are ordered to return to Infinity immediately. Possible insertions on multiple levels.
Activity all around us.
Here's our first encounter of a Promethean enemy. These are the Promethean crawlers. These have been pretty much equated to the Covenant grunts. And as you can tell, the AR packs a mean punch for these little suckers.
These things are some type of defense AIs. Definitely not Covenant.
So it's nice to see that the AR has a lot more power behind it now. It felt really underpowered in some of the previous games, but it's nice to see that it packs a punch. Now that might just be the difficulty that they're playing on, but it sounds like it's powerful as well. Right here we have our second Promethean enemy, the Knight, and this looks like it could possibly be a quick action or quick time event. There isn't any controls that popped up during the live demo that we saw, but that could just be hidden, so it'll be interesting to see that if we can actually interact with the game on that level and have the quick time events to control how that goes. Right here you see a grenade indicator, which will tell you if a grenade's right by you, similar to Call of Duty, I know, but it's nice to see that in the game as well. Probably be very helpful. And as you can tell, all the Promethean Knights basically incinerate when they're dead. Now when we pick up this light rifle, you can tell that it has a nice little assembly animation. I think that's really cool. Now you don't have to worry about that in multiplayer. If you saw some of the multiplayer footage that they released over the last week, that you'll know that it doesn't take that long. But it's just part of the animation for the campaign. Right here you can see that the Knights can teleport, and you'll also see a little bit of phase walking right here. Basically took a cheap shot on the Chief if you ask me, but he teleports back out and he takes that headshot to the face. The second Promethean weapon that we have revealed is the scatter shot, and he turns around and incinerates another Knight that came leaping towards him.
Mayday, mayday! Code red! Hostile elements attempting to gain entrance to the Infinity Bridge!
We need to move.
In our last scene of the demo, we see the visor used. Now, this has been confirmed that it's actually Promethean vision, Cortana just used switching visor mode, I think, to say that she's using the Promethean vision, which is a different kind of visor mode that we'll have. There's going to be a couple of scenes I stop on in this little quick series of scenes coming up here. But this first one I want to stop on is this quick time event that's this time with an elite. This may be more for a cinematic experience or done so in a way that doesn't take the player out of the game. Because one of the big problems that a lot of people have had is when the game takes you out of the first person view and puts you in a cutscene. So maybe this is a way to kind of bypass that and keep people immersed in the game. Cortana says she's dying, she's 8 years old. Not much news there. In this short scene, we see Master Chief surrounded by what looks like a bunch of other Spartan 4s. So it looks like on some of our missions we'll have Spartan 4s supporting the Chief. Looks like here we have an actual working mech. Here's some more Promethean enemies, but they look blue instead of orange. So maybe different classes of Prometheans like we see with the elites when they have different colored armor. Here we see a Warhog driving out of a new elephant-looking vehicle. Here Cortana says that she won't allow you to leave this planet. Now we don't know if she's talking to the Chief or if she's talking to this new enemy that we're talking about, possibly the Didact or maybe Mendicant Bias. There's a couple theories out there, but we don't have anything set yet. The last thing we have here is a symbol of a Forerunner. We possibly think it's Mendicant Bias. It's not exactly like the Didact symbol as a lot of people have thought. Thanks to Slightly Live over Forward Unto Dawn, he has this little graphic comparing what the Didact symbol looks like and what the symbol at the end of the video looks like, and they're actually different. So we think this might be someone else, not necessarily the Didact. That covers the campaign demo. I hope you guys enjoyed our little E3 coverage of all the 343i videos that came out. Comment on the video and subscribe.